オール仮面ライダーライダージェネレーション。
What's up, everyone? Zario here for episode 4 of the wrap-up review series. And today we're going to be wrapping up the game that I just currently got finished with today. All Kamen Rider, Rider Generation for the Nintendo DS handheld. Now keep in mind, this was a Japanese import, just like the last game I played, and forgive me if you understand the language better than I do and I mispronounce the name of like some of the characters or, you know, some of the missions that are in the game, etc. You know, I don't understand the Japanese language that well, so if you hear me mispronounce something, forgive me. You know, nobody's perfect. But yeah, let's begin with the review. As always, I have some notes, so occasionally throughout like just during the review, you might see me looking down over and over. No, I'm not looking at my penis. I'm looking at my notes, and I'm just checking to make sure I don't skip over anything. Now, on to the review. So, All Kamen Rider, Rider Generation. It is a side-scrolling beat-em-up adventure game that has 29 Kamen Riders on its roster, plus one hidden one, bringing the total up to 29 different Kamen Riders that you can choose from that span all the way back to 1971, which is when I believe the series first started, 1971 up to 2011. Now, when you first start a new game in Kamen Rider, Rider Generation, it offers you two different options, like whether you want to play it in like on the child level or on the adult level. Now, during the game, you can change it back to like child or adult, depending on which one you had picked first. If you want to change it back to child mode, you can, or if you want to change it to adult mode, you can. You know, that's during the game. But when you first start a new game, they offer you these two options, child mode or adult mode. Now, what these two modes do, and mind you, I read the guide to this game, the English translation guide, and it nowhere on the guide did it explain what each of those modes did. So I had to learn the hard way. So here's what the two options do. When the game is in adult mode, I mean, like when you choose the adult level control scheme, it gives you the normal controls for everything. Everything like in terms of the combat control scheme. When it's in child, it simplifies that control scheme, and at times it does random moves for that Kamen Rider that you have. And up in the first two videos that I uploaded of this playthrough, I had picked child mode, not knowing what I was doing because, like I said, I don't understand the language. And, you know, just during the playthrough, I was doing stupid things like, for example, like I was using special moves at times where I didn't want to use special moves. And there would be like one enemy left on the screen, and I would do like this full screen finisher, which was dumb, but I didn't know. At first I thought the game was glitching out, but then I found out what had happened. You know, like my common sense kicked in, and I figured out maybe that child mode and adult mode thing, like it affects the controllers. It affects the controls in some way, and I eventually switched it back to the adult controls, switch it to the adult controls. and everything was fine from there on. Now, the control scheme. There are 6 buttons, of course, and each of them do something in the game. You have your weak attacks, which you can chain into combos. You have your strong attacks, which you can also chain in with your weak attacks to like do uppercuts or like certain power hits that can knock your opponent back or knock them high into the sky, etc. You have your special button that uses the Kamen Rider's special moves, and each Kamen Rider has at least 2. Some of them have 3, some of them have 4. But as you play through the game, like, you're gonna find out which one does which. But yeah, you have your jump button, which you can use for like jump attacks. After you knock your opponent into the air, then you can press jump and you can do some air combos and things like that. You have your block button, and then there's the ability / change form button for the different Kamen Riders. So no 2 Kamen Riders are alike necessarily. Now, when you first start the game, the official game, quote unquote, you start off with 3 characters: Kamen Rider O, Kamen Rider Double, and Kamen Rider what's that other one? Kamen Rider Dino. I believe that's how you pronounce his name, Kamen Rider Dino. But yeah, and right off the bat, you see like how the game is going to work out, because you have to pick 2 Kamen Riders, like at a time. One Kamen Rider is the player Kamen Rider, aka the Kamen Rider that you will be controlling, and the second one will be a computer controlled rider. Now, there are 5 stage maps in the game, and each stage map has 5 sub stages and 2 hidden sub stages, as well as a shop. Now, when you play 3 stages, it's typical side-scrolling beat 'em up style. You go through the stage and you beat up different enemies, and in the game you gain experience after you defeat an enemy. And once you gain a certain amount, your Kamen Rider will level up. Now, one of the cool things that they did about this was that you and your partner Kamen Rider, you gain the same amount of experience no matter who defeats an enemy. So let's say, for example, if you beat this enemy over here, and your partner Kamen Rider was over there in the back, just lollygagging, or it was fighting some other enemies. Even though you defeated this Kamen Rider, the experience that you get, your partner Kamen Rider will gain the same amount. So that's helpful, because as you level up in this game, as you level up your Kamen Riders in this game, like your Kamen Riders get different abilities, and such. Their stats go up, their attack and defense stats go up, and yeah, it's helpful, because that way you don't have to go and you don't have to level up, each of the Kamen Riders individually by, just you controlling them. So that was a cool feature that they added in. Also, as you play through these stages, occasionally you will meet other Kamen Riders, and one of 3 options will be at your disposal. Either one, you can choose to replace that Kamen Rider with the Kamen Rider that you're playing as, and you can play as that new Kamen Rider that you ran into. 2, you can use that Kamen Rider as your partner Kamen Rider. Or 3, you can send him back to the roster, and after you beat that stage, you'll unlock him. Also, each stage has a mission, and if you complete the tasks as you're playing through that particular stage of that mission, then there are also some bonus things that you unlock, either that be bonus money or some hidden stages, um, or some other Kamen Riders, just a various amount of things. And, like you beat each stage until you reach the boss, and once you beat the boss, you can move on to the next stage. Also, the shops. Now, each Kamen Rider has their own personal, well, first, let me backtrack. When you first enter the shops, okay, there would be 5 items in there. You would see like these life cells, which are your healing items that you can use as you're playing through the game. Like just by clicking on one of the Kamen Rider's portraits at the bottom of the screen, and they'll just fill, like the life bar back up to full. Like it will be a red pill, and a blue pill, which are attack and defense boosters. So in the event that, let's say you're leveling up your Kamen Rider, and their attack and defense isn't up to where you feel like it should be, you can go to the shops, and you can use your money to help boost up the attack and defense of the Kamen Rider that you're controlling. And also there are 2 other items in there that depending on what Kamen Riders you have, these items will show up. And when you buy these items, like they would upgrade certain things, like a new Kamen Rider ability, like a new form of that Kamen Rider will be unlocked, or that Kamen Rider will learn a finishing move. Now, sometimes when you buy the items, the like the new abilities and such won't take place until you level up that Kamen Rider to a certain level. So yeah, it does take some grinding in order to get the levels up, but it's pretty enjoyable for the most part. I mean, I liked it as well, but the upgrade items have some weird names to them. I mean, like they have like the hard-boiled hat, or the hot pants boxers, or the cup of tea for me, or the Wiener Schnitzel Wiener, or I mean, like it's some weird, funny names. But I digress. Like that's not affecting the gameplay at all. But like that was just something funny I thought I'd share with you. But yeah, overall, I think the game is decent for the genre that it's made for, and the way that it's made. Oh, also, I forgot to talk about the graphics. The characters in this game, they, like, the best way I could describe the like the character design is like paper cutouts that's been put back together at the joints. That's pretty much the best way that I can explain them. I mean, like they look funny, but it works for the game. It works for the gameplay. And yeah, I like how they did it. The graphics for the stages, they're standard with what you would get with, a side-scrolling beat 'em up on the Nintendo DS, in my opinion. They are like some 3D backgrounds, slightly animated, and yeah, that's pretty much it. The positives. So let me just go ahead and move on to the positives and the negatives. The positive that I like about this game is that it is a variety of Kamen Riders in this game. Like, it's a large number of them, considering. Uh, and, you know, just depending on the compatibility of the two Kamen Riders that you pick, you can do certain team-ups, finisher moves, which look pretty good. Things like that. Also, you're able to change levels on every stage that you're on, which is also helpful because it helps you to learn the stages. You know, for the first run through, like, you can set that stage to easy. You can do a quick run through of it, and then you can come back and you can beat it on a harder level difficulty, because the higher the level that you have it set to, the more money that you will earn as you play through the game, the more experience that you will get. And, you know, like, it's worth it to, like, if you're interested in leveling up your Kamen Rider, like, that would be like one of the smart things to do, is to, like, just like have the level on easy, then head back and, you know, do a playthrough of it on normal. And as your level gets, you know, once you get your level and attack and defense up to where you feel like you want it, then you can go back and you can like set that stage on a harder difficulty to you know, you can play it through like that. Also, there are hidden bonus. There is some hidden bonus content, as I hinted later on before. On top of, you know, the 5 stage maps and the 5 mini stages, and each of them have a shop, there are 2 hidden stages on each of those maps. So there's 10 extra stages that you guys can unlock by using passwords, which I put underneath my video so that you guys can have them. So yeah, you're welcome. Some of the negatives. This game leaves much to be desired. I feel like it was things that they could have did better, like with the stage design. I honestly think they could have did more with it. With some of the Kamen Riders, like a few of them don't have. I mean, like if you're a fan of the Kamen Rider series and you've seen, you know, like the live action shows, then you can tell, like, they could have added more than they did for each of the Kamen Riders. You know, like, they could have did more for them. Like, they could have added more forms to the Kamen Riders. They could have added, you know, some more special moves for each of the Kamen Riders. And it's one Kamen Rider on there that don't even have a special move, which is the hidden one. I mean, it's strong. That Kamen Rider is strong. It has high attack and defense, and it's good for a partner and a companion, but sometimes you need those finishers. You know, like, just to do extra damage on the screen, and that Kamen Rider doesn't necessarily have that. But yeah, like, some Kamen Riders just don't have everything that, you know, you believe that that you would expect them to have. But overall, I think they did good with what they had on the game, and overall, I just think that the game is it does lead itself to some replayability. You know, if you're one of those completionists that want to go and play each of the levels on each of the stages, and, you know, you want to do it like that, or if you want to level up all your Kamen Riders up to a certain level, yeah, I mean, like, with the bonus stages, there's some replayability with that alone. So, I mean, yeah, like, you probably would play this game once or twice, or, you know, like, just to go back and finish up some of the missions on some of the stages, just to see some of the bonuses that you will get. What else? What else am I forgetting? I don't want to leave nothing out. um, yeah, well, I guess that's it. Yeah, so my final score. Well, first let me say this: Kamen Rider, all Kamen Rider generation is an enjoyable side-scrolling beat 'em up / adventure. It's slightly above average, though it does leave much to be desired because when you play it, you can tell that they could have done more with the game than they did. So taking in all that, all the positives, things that I like about it, the things that I didn't like about it, I would say that Kamen Rider, all Kamen Rider generation gets I would say, a 6 out of 10. A 6 out of 10 if you're a Kamen Rider fan. If not, then this game would probably just be like a 5.2 out of 10. You know, at the least. It is enjoyable. It does have replayability. It's a fun game. It's easy. You know, even if you don't understand the Japanese language like I do, but you know, if you're a Kamen Rider fan, 6 out of 10. If you're not, 5 out of 10. So 5.2 out of 10. Yeah, that's it for this wrap-up review. Keep in mind, I'm still, like, being in front of a camera, understand something. Let me put this to the side for a moment. Me being in front of the camera and talking to you guys is a new atmosphere for me. You know, it's something that I'm not 100% comfortable with yet. So don't expect my reviews to be, you know, on par with somebody else who does video game reviews. Because, you know, they've been doing it longer than I have, so therefore they have more experience in talking about those games. And they probably don't get as nervous as I do when I get on camera. I could, like, for me, it's just the thought of knowing that I'm talking to a wider audience, and that just fucks with me a little bit. So a lot of the things that I may want to say, it probably skips my mind, or, you know, and my mouth just gets ahead of what my brain is thinking and such. So yeah, just let you know, I'm not perfect. I'm human. Eventually, I will get better with this. So take it easy on me in the comments. All Kamen Rider generation for Kamen Rider fans. 6 out of 10 for non-Kamen Rider fans. 5.2 out of 10. It's a slightly above average game. It is enjoyable. It does have replayability, but it does leave much to be desired. And that's it for this episode of the wrap up. And see you guys next time for the next ADS play. Take care, and I'll see you again soon.